Yeah, we were talking about your pain, right? And all the versions that
My pain, but not my pain.
your pain,
The
but
song
not your.
Your Pain by Julia,
Yes,
out now in 4 different versions.
Yeah.
those versions that almost made you lost interest.
Lose interest in music.
in your project.
There was a
Yeah.
bit of pain.
Yeah, quite painful. No.
Yeah. How well I really like when you told me the first time your idea of having 4 different versions of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you said, everybody experience the pain in different version, different moods, different
Ways, yeah.
ways. So you kind of wanted to basically address that into songs, into music.
Yeah. I feel that I'm in that sense feel like the emotions we feel, we can express them differently, and the pain is one of them, of course, too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, I've been in points in my life where I would like to express pain by going out and partying with friends and, trying to forget whatever was hurting me. Or sometimes it's like I want to close myself in my bedroom and cry. And sometimes, it's more of like, okay, let me get in the car and be like, oh, let's just drive and be all rough and tough. Or like, I don't know, and that's how they all came about. But also at the same time, I remember that I was so excited about the song, how it just came into my head as I was driving around, actually. And I really wanted it to be produced ASAP. So I sent it to you, but I also sent it to another producer I work with here in LA, Coop, who's in a creates dark wave and more of a beat maker.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys kind of responded at the same time with your own vision of that. And I was like, wait. And this is another like cool thing of like, here's how I heard it, but then here's how he heard it, and this is how you heard it, which again was kind of backing my idea of everyone has their own perspective on pain and feelings and expression of them. It's like, why not make it an EP of...
Yeah. I think that was a great idea, even for you to connect more with your audience.
Yeah.
Because then you could kind of ask people what is their way of experiencing their pain, and everybody's different, and they could connect with all different versions of the songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was so.
And that was true, right? Because once we released it, it wasn't like everyone picked one version that's clearly the best. It was actually an extremely flat response, like between all 4 versions of which people preferred, which hit the nail on the head with the concept there.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear the girls versus the boys. Or
did you see any? I don't know if you can see it as a analytics where one song is more for the girls and the other one for the boys. I don't know.
We did an Instagram poll, which was pretty flat, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't think it was more gender specific. But I do think that you are able to. You probably are able to see that on Instagram if I was to go check. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
To see like the reach, because it kind of gives you that. I think. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of cool. But then, like Hippie, who was mastering it, like having a British, more of a gritty, liking sound, which is the raw version, right? So it's interesting to even see
how that came to life. The raw
mastering
version
or the raw version?
The raw version. Yeah.
That was Coop's interpretation.
Yeah, that was Coop's interpretation, and actually, I feel like I kind of wanted... I was in my peak fangirling over Artemis's art. And I just saw him live, and I was in DC, and I kind of wrote that, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to try to go that direction. And because we have worked with Coop on Run a little bit already, I was like, oh, it would be so cool to see if he can create like a super dark wave beat and he told me to come up with a tiny like demo. So I did some stuff on GarageBand, which basically he took the chords, he took the vibe, he took the structure that I had, even with the breaks and then like all the little sounds that I tried to like GarageBand, you know? Yeah, and he just wrote a beat basically in a day. And he was like, here you go. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I laid the vocals on GarageBand, sent it back to him. He was like, wait, yo, that's like cool. Yeah. And then you did your version. And then I asked Benji to put the guitars on the raw one. Yeah. And then we kind of just, yeah.
Nice. That's so cool.
What was your inspiration for drama version?
For drama?
Yeah.
I don't remember. We mentioned probably some references when we
Yeah,
were
but I
working
do
on it,
remember though,
but
you were like, I hear something,
Yeah.
let me try to do this. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm curious.
That's right. Because you always send me the
Acapella.
the acapella version
Yeah.
of the songs
Yeah.
that are gonna end up, you know.
Yeah.
So I was hearing, like, I was trying different chord progressions. I think I just heard the the spray synths in my head, like that type of sound. And as you know, I always try to keep it very simple
Yeah.
in the chord progression, more like kind of a pop oriented. So I was experimenting with two different chord progressions. But yeah, to me, like when I hear the matching in my head between harmony and melody, it's that's the key to me when I know that everything is
cool.
feeling good. It's more than the drum beat or other elements. Like I need the harmony to really be tied with the melody. And honestly, that's also what I love about working with you, because you always send just the acapella,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's already the full song
Yeah.
basically, and it gives me so much room to play with and to experiment, and so yeah, when
The
you
chords
can,
were different. The Coop's raw version and your drama version had different chords. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
3 or 4 were the same, but one of them, I think the third chord's like, it adds a very different mood between them, which is cool.
which is not exactly, then it ends up being not just the production that can be different,
Yeah.
it's
The
just
entire melodic
it's the entire melody and
direction.
harmony. It's about the songwriting really of the song
Yeah.
that takes place. So yeah, I remember it was probably when I heard the different demos was the first one I wanted to work on, because I said, I really want to try this.
Yeah, I remember. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, why is everyone picking this one?
Well, basically everything started with Your Pain.
Yeah.
With the song Your Pain.
Yeah.
That you wanted to actually create a sort of community of people.
Yeah, it
around
kind
you.
of
And
helped.
why they were picking the song.
Yeah, it kind of helped me to understand that, like, again, I'm someone who, like, believes in all the voodoo stuff, and we all know that. And I think that that's the important part in creating a really good musical product that people are going to feel. It's going to make people feel something, and it has to come from that. And I feel like if there's more than one person working on it, it adds layers of each person's feelings into it. And that's why I was like, okay, no, it's great that you add yours, and then Benji adds his with his guitars and his instruments and his mixing. And then Coop can add his, dark wavy beat, etc., etc. So yeah, I was just in that place, and it all kind of came together, and that was cool. I think I lost the thought where I actually like initially started speaking about this.
You're
Oops.
saying how you sent a list to the community, and it was funny that they all picked Your Pain to begin
Oh,
with.
yes, thank you. Thanks. Exactly. See, and I need people like you in my community who will remind me because I go in these. Yeah. Yeah, and then like at first I was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like everyone wants to work on this specific song, and I wonder why. But I feel like because it was so true to me, maybe that's why it was such a big response from
Yeah,
you
we
know.
felt the true energy.
Yeah, the true energy
Yeah.
of it, and that's why I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like let's do it. And then actually I wanted to have a remix, right? The dance version, and I've reached out to I know a lot of DJs and who produce, and I've reached out to a lot of them, and it's just like was not working out, either timing wise or whatever. And then one time I came to the studio and Benji's like, I was working on a secret project. I was like, what is it? And apparently he was working
Well,
on
this was the week of the release, or the,
Oh,
the week
true.
of the deadline. So
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
not like
the upload. Yeah.
so chronologically we had. I think we finished Raw first, and then we finished Drama, or maybe they've done at the
Simultaneously,
same
yeah.
time, right? So
Yeah.
we have Coops Darkwave Raw version, we have the dramatic version. Before the dance, there was the acoustic, the
Yeah.
bare version. So
Which I love.
So
I
that
love
was-
the chord.
Y-
The
yeah,
some chords you picked, they were really cool.
I think I actually picked the chords from Coots versions, which
Yeah.
might be why
Yeah.
you heard the difference there. So I think I did the chords from Coots versions, but I played it on my baritone acoustic guitar, so it had a very like low. That's why
That's
it kind of it sounds so low and did kind of harmonics, and we actually ended up with some strings, which were definitely along Fabio production world's lines. Because the bare version initially it was just going to be playing acoustic guitar, but then I realized okay, like with the nature of the song, we want some sort of grand growth of dynamics, so we added the strings and kind of got that set it up. And this was all working towards a deadline date where everything had to be done. And we did have a DJ lined up for that deadline date, but as Julia said, like timings weren't working out with touring and production time, and because this was such a big effort, the big EP, and with all the plans behind it, we had to hit this deadline. So I think the deadline was on a Friday. We hit Monday, and kind of Julia shared the news, like, I don't think we're going to get the remix done, but we really wanted it to be a 4-song EP. So I'm not a DJ, I'm not a producer, but I was like, come on, like how hard can it be, like I know, and just to be clear, like big respect to DJs, and especially when you do the live mixing and stuff, like that's an art form in itself that I would never touch with my level of experience. But I figured, what, I can probably emulate DJ kind of vibes with just some looping, and I took basically, because obviously I'd been mixing the whole project, so I had Fabio stems, I had Coop stems, and I had my acoustic stems, so just kind of bounced them all again, instruments, bass, drums, vocals. I kind of had them all on one project and just decided, okay, 4 bars of this drums, then 4 bars of this harmony, just honestly kind of at random. And then I found like one plugin that does these like these weird like break like remix kind of can't remember what it's called now. I think it's some sort of splicey effect.
Slicer? Or
It's on Plugin Alliance. I can't the name I can't
It'll come back
escapes
to
me.
you.
But anyway, it was just this plugin that I've used before to kind of add like a tremolo into a bass, but it does more than just tremolo. It can kind of screw stuff up. So I just started throwing her vocals into this and just like and I was like, okay, I just did that, played around, cut random bits that sounded good. Honestly, kind of haphazardly threw it all together. But I think with a DJ song, like you just want to build energy up and then hit a drop. I think I maybe added in some kick and snare samples just to give it that. And then Julia liked it, and that was like the proof of concepts. And it only took us another day of just messing around and seeing what
I
sounded
was
good.
like, what?
Honestly, I love when and a lot of time it happens that you basically you work so like easily and like fast on something, and I honestly I'm a fan of kind of a commit with something right away.
Yeah.
With whatever it is, like if it feels good, you don't question it too much.
Yeah.
And
So
nothing like a deadline to cause that to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like that's exactly what you say. You know, we start thinking when, like, you don't want to think about feelings. You just
Yeah.
want to feel them and go
Yeah.
with them. And art is about that. And when we start thinking too much about art, it takes away the beauty of that impulse, of that like magic, because it is just that. You know,
Yeah.
it's the expression of that impulse.
And that's, I guess, why you know, real mixing board DJs have such like connection with the energy, is because they're doing all this stuff live, right? That's why that's an art form. And I guess why it worked out for us is that I was almost, you know, doing it as quick as possible, which keeps in.
And you were having fun.
Oh yeah, I was having a lot of fun because you know, it's not tweaking an EQ for a couple of days, but it's just like throwing in samples and.
It's like, let me just try it.
Yeah, we were like, try these chords, and okay, no, it doesn't. Like, you know, I couldn't mix. Maybe I could, but I couldn't mix like your chords with Coop's chords because they're different chords, right? So I was like seeing which parts. Like, I think there was a section in the remix where we actually had one of your bass lines with the other one's chords, which you know obviously creates a
dissonance a bit.
Well, yeah, it creates like an inversion or something.
Oh.
But it sounded cool.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
I think it's cool.
Absolutely no idea what we did, but it was just having fun.
Yeah.
How does it feel now to perform that song live?
Cool. Not as painful as when I was working on it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's, you know, I feel, again, because each song kind of represents, I'm trying to move away from that, as per my therapist, if you're watching. Yeah, like, I'm trying to move away from pain in life so that I don't create pain in art, and I keep attracting pain in life. Like, apparently there's a loop about that. Yeah, so, you know, I feel like I was just in a place where it was a very good outlet for that, and it's very hard to hit that energy again, to perform it the same way. But because I studied method acting for my degree, I feel like I have the tools to, you know, still tap into something and perform it in a similar way. But it's interesting because it's like, to perform at a Loose Tape showcase, I was kind of in it, but at the same time observing from the outside. I was like, oh, you know, now I'm
well,
just...
I guess after a while that you perform a song, also the song becomes something by itself that you are also looking from outside.
Yeah.
Because it's its own thing. So,
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's an interesting shift, you know, because like the original one was basically like very dark, and that's how Raw was born. And then with yours, I was trying to kind of go more of an Essa Barrett kind of direction of the, you know, the little kind of thing. Which again, when I was recording vocals at Benji's studio, I was kind of like, I did the whole meditation before that and kind of tried to get into that vibe, into that energy, because I've just seen her live actually like a week before that.
That's like more performative too. Like the raw is like raw pain.
Yeah.
Right? And the
like
drama is like
unfiltered.
dramatic pain. It's filtering it through a lens of drama.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a performance.
Yeah.
But it is still true, you know? So yeah, so it was just it was interesting of like, oh, how can I just be make it less of a pain, but more of like, I can be a little baby. You know, and I kind of tried to interact with some people in the audience, and like I could see some guys blushing when I was looking at them, and I was like, oh, cool, I like that. Like this. And I just
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.